Okay, I'm here to yap again, and I'm gonna try and make this video as short as possible. But since we're going into sacred geometry, it's gonna be insanely hard to make it short because I want to cover as much as I can about sacred geometry. If I were to cover everything, that would be impossible because sacred geometry is existence itself, and it goes into literally everything that makes up existence, that makes up life, that makes up everything, that makes up our bodies, that makes up nature and everything. But I want to start off, I have some notes of different symbols. If there is cuts, it's probably because I'm just gonna try and cut down the time so it's like not too much. I first want to talk about what sacred geometry is. So sacred geometry is the fundamental pieces to that makes up everything, that makes up nature, that makes up energy, that makes up matter, that makes up everything. It's science, it's math, it's everything. Every, like, math uses sacred geometry. Not, well, like, sacred geometry goes into sacred geometry. When you're doing math, you're not really focusing on sacred geometry because sacred geometry is more deeper than just finding this fucking whatever the fuck, I don't know. If we're talking about quantum physics, it goes really deep into quantum physics, and it goes into everything, goes into our bodies, but that's later. I'm gonna talk about that. So that's what sacred geometry is. It's kind of the patterns that make up everything, like a tree, the spirals in a tree. That's sacred geometry. The patterns in leaves is also sacred geometry. The patterns on our thumbs and our skin are also sacred geometry. Our lips, our eyeballs, everything. Grass, a lot of plants, anything that you can see a pattern in, especially spirals. And that's what I want to talk about first is spirals. And spirals represent like growth, movement, and evolution, especially in nature, because everything is a spiral. Nothing is linear, it's a spiral. Everything is moving in a motion, especially our chakras. And if you don't know what the 7 chakras are, they're energy centers down our spine where energy is moving, and it can get stuck. Sometimes it's like pools flowing. If you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, you probably saw that one episode where he was trying to activate all his chakras so that he could fully embody his avatar state and be able to control it more or really tap into it more. And they're spirals. I have something in, it's not this notebook. Hold on, I need to find 1 second. I have a notebook full of research I did like a long time ago, like fucking 2 years ago.
Master the avatar state, you must open all the chakras. And tell me everything you know about chakras.
What are chakras?
Oh, I see. I guess we'll start with the basics. The water flows through this creek much like the energy flows through your body. As you see, there are several pools where the water swirls around before flowing on. These pools are like our chakras.
So chakras are pools of spiraling energy in our bodies?
Exactly. If nothing else were around, this creek would flow pure and clear. However, life is messy, and things tend to fall in the creek. And then what happens?
The creek can't flow?
Yes, but if we open the paths between the pools,
The energy flows.
there are 7 chakras that go up the body.
So this is a paper. I can put on a picture of it if you want to like actually read it in the video, how it kind of looks. See this spiral, how it's like not cutting off in the middle. It's not starting at one point. It's actually a spiral connected to each other, but it's still spiraling all down our body, and they're all on different you hear my brother, I'm sorry. He's outside my door right now. But yeah, they all go on different frequencies. And I talked about in one of my videos frequencies and vibration with music, but these are different frequencies. And this is how energetic sludge can get stuck in your chakras and make it from the spiral not fully moving at its fullest state. And that is why a lot of people get in stuck mindsets. And every chakra is connected to a different organ, is connected to a different different emotions, and can activate different things within our minds about how that is connected to the because your brain is at the tip of your spine and is connected to your spine, and your spine goes all the way down your body and is connected to your whole nervous system, which is connected
to every single organ. So all of these nerves going through your body, like that detach from your spine, go into your arms, go into your legs, and that's why you can feel this. That's why when you do this, you can feel this unless you're paralyzed in your legs.
The chakras are connected to each nerve that go to different spots, and we don't just have 7 chakras. We have like 100 something little different mini ones, probably more than that, around our body. And that is also, I also talked about this, like, I think in one of my videos. That's also connected to Chinese herbal medicine, where they do, if you ever heard of acupuncture, where they put little needles in different spots. They pinpoint different locations that release different parts because they're pinpointing certain chakras in your body. And they can heal different things. And when you meditate, you are allowing your chakras to get to a certain state where they can flow, and it can release the energy that's stuck in your chakras. And this goes with anything, even moving to music can also release the energy that's stuck in your chakras. Sorry, I did not mean to talk that much about that.
Up in that ice, these niggas wanna fight me because I'm looking icy. Yo, bitch, I think she like me, and I'm just chilling like a fucking villain.
The Millitron's cube is basically the symbol of the universe. It kind of just is the building blocks of reality, but like it's the fundamentals of what makes up life. Like it's connected to fire, earth, air, water, and ether. What I really wanted to talk about before I get into like the specifics, I don't know why I started getting into that first. Sacred geometry, I already said this, but it is in everything. It is literally like, if you really start to see the patterns, and it is so beautiful. And I know some people are probably gonna be like, oh, you probably fucking took psychedelics. No, I've never taken psychedelics in my life. This shit is so fascinating to me, and it always has been. Like, I do not take like this shit lightly. Like when I see a pattern somewhere in nature, bro, I start geeking over it because it's just so beautiful. And this isn't only like visually, this isn't just a physical thing, this is an energy thing. This is literally what makes up matter, what makes up atoms and light. Also, the torus field is an energy vortex. You've probably heard of it. Let me show you something. Actually, I have a book that talks about it. If I were to talk about quantum physics, bro, that would be a whole different video for just because quantum physics goes into sacred geometry. Everything is sacred geometry. This is the torus field. And as you can see, this is an example with an apple, which creates a torus field because it's energy looping inside and like creating an energy vortex. Let me go on a rant really quick. If you're watching this and you don't like reading, or you're not someone who reads, bro, that's okay. Because I'm trying to keep the mic close to me, but I don't want to hold it anymore. Oh. What the fuck? How does this even? Are you from New York even? Do you dig in your butt even? I grew up not really liking reading, but only because I started reading in school, and there was a few books that I liked reading, but all the books that I read, I was forced to read, and they didn't interest me. But then once I started reading books that I chose and that I actually liked, I started liking reading a little bit, but then I just had this perception in my head that reading was boring. And so it kind of stuck with me for a while, until like 3 years ago, maybe 4, I bought this book called the Tao Te Ching. I think I bought a few books before that, but I bought this book called the Tao Te Ching, and I read the whole thing in one sitting because I started to realize so much about life, and that book has so much wisdom in it. It is a beautiful book. Bro, I accidentally fucking hit the camera and it stopped recording the video. But anyway, Tao Te Ching. Please buy this, or this translation is my favorite. It's the yellow one. I can put a link to it in the description, and I can also put a link in the description to this book called Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's a neuroscientist. It talks a lot about quantum physics deeper in the book, but it focuses on understanding our whole nervous system and understanding how the processes work and how to get out of limiting beliefs and cycles that we create. And it's not one of those self-help books that tell you you're stupid. Basically, like so many of them be like, oh, like you are creating these false beliefs in yourself. But this tells you how you create them, and it doesn't make you feel stupid. It helps you understand how you are doing it, and it's like so deep, and it changed my life. And anyway, when I was talking about how I didn't like reading growing up, when I read this book, I read it in one sitting, and I still go back to it because it is a beautiful book. And this is how it's written. It's not written like a book. This is how each page is. It's like in poem form. Taoism is so beautiful. Lao Tzu, I love, bro. This book, it doesn't really matter what you believe in. I feel like you can take away from every belief system. You can take away from every religion. I don't follow organized religion, and I don't agree or believe in organized religion. I think that it is a use of control on the masses of people, and it's disconnecting people from their souls and who they are. You can take away from Christianity just like you can take away from Buddhism. You can take divine messages from the Bible. It doesn't mean that everything in the Bible is true, though, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of things in the Bible are just analogies, and it was also rewritten multiple times by men. So I feel like people need to put 2 and 2 together, and I'm not gonna bash anybody for not. If you are a Christian, I think that's beautiful that you can, find a connection to God, but just please don't fall under the illusion of Christianity. Just please focus on your connection to God rather than religion. A lot of churches aren't what you think they are. There's very good churches that are trying to help people, but there's also some that are there for the money, and there's things under. There's especially the big church company, the big organizations there's some evil ass shit going on in there. Trust me, you don't want to know. It's a whole different conversation, but also there's art in it. It's so beautiful. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, read this book. If you want to take away some things about life, it gives some really beautiful, like, let me find an example. And there's also one about water and how flowing like water really just focuses on just being, just being and existing and learning how to appreciate things for how they are. But also, yeah, I think that when you can sit down and you can read something and you can feel connected to it, it creates something in your head, especially fiction. Surprisingly, I actually started loving reading because I started reading nonfiction. First started with this, and then I really started diving deep into this book, and that shit fucking fascinated me so much, and I'd read it for hours, and I'd sit down and I wouldn't want to do anything else but read. Like, I don't know. And I used to never be like that until I really started uncovering everything about myself, uncovering more about myself. But yeah, like, I think there's this one book that was really good that I read in like 3 days. It was called, I think it's called If You Could See the Sun. That was a really good book, and it puts you in this world. It's like a movie, but it's, to me, reading books is so much deeper than a movie because you can feel it a lot deeper. And I do enjoy movies sometimes more than books because I'm actually seeing it visually on a screen, and I also love cinematography because I think that's so beautiful. Like, cinematography is beautiful, but when you're reading a book, it's also so much longer than a movie and like a TV show sometimes. If it's a shorter book, still, it is so much deeper because there are certain scenes that you can't capture. I feel like you just can't capture in a movie the same way. And that's why they're both beautiful in their own ways, you know? Like, they're both beautiful in their own ways. Anyway, back to like sacred geometry and how it works. You can really see it in everything. And all the different patterns are so, they're not only just beautiful, but it's connected to everything. You can connect it to literally everything. And I want to go into the depth of that, but I can't find the right words for some reason right now to like really explain how it does. Sometimes you can really you get that click where you just understand, and then you start getting downloads on top of downloads on top of downloads, and then you really start understanding how things work. Thank you. I'm sorry. I need some water. Hold on. I always fucking do that. Okay, let me go through the basics because I was going into some deep ass stuff. So, when I was talking about the Mellotron's cube, so there's like all the 5 platonic solids, which are just the building blocks to reality. I forgot what they are. Let me pull them up so I can like really. This is the 5 platonic solids. Though this is the 5 platonic solids. And basically, there's a certain word for this. I'm gonna just say triangle. It's not a triangle. It's actually 3D. That's the triangle. That's a cube. And then that, and then that, and then that. And that is what makes up the Metatron's cube. There's also the Vesic Pisces. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Vesic Pisces, which is it's like a lens, and it's, I think, one of the oldest symbols in sacred geometry, and it's basically I'll put up an image on the screen. We use it a lot in school when we're comparing and contrasting things, and seeing the similarities and then the differences. So there's similarities of both in the middle, and then there's the differences. And this is what it symbolizes: the union of opposites, and like masculine and femininity. Also, I bring this up a lot. The yin and yang is also feminine energy and masculine energy. I'm actually about to go on a rant about that because I just opened up a whole new portal in my brain about all of that, and I really want to uncover that because I feel like people are so caught up in society. They are born, they go to kindergarten, and then they see the world, and they start seeing all the world, and then they get programmed and conditioned since birth, so they think all of this shit about society because they were taught all of this stuff, and now it's programmed in their brain, and so they feel they need to be this way. And what I want to say is how, remember when I said the yin and yang, if you watched my other video, the yin and yang is intertwined with one another. They aren't separate from each other, they are intertwined with one another. And that's why, like, there's 2 hemispheres of the brain. A lot of people know this. If you know this, then you know what I'm talking about. The left hemisphere and then the right hemisphere. And like, the left hemisphere focuses more on logic, reasoning, speech, like bases things off logic. And the right is more based on, it vibrates on creativity, arts, feeling, emotion, daydreaming, imagination. These two go one in with other. They go with each other. They are not separate from each other. They go with one another. There are two sides, just like yin and yang. So the left hemisphere is masculine. The left hemisphere is masculine energy. The right is feminine energy. This has nothing to do with gender, by the way. This has nothing to do with gender. If you're a man or a woman, you both have a left hemisphere and a right hemisphere of the brain. Not just that, but the energy that circulates within you. If you're vibrating more on your masculine energy, no matter if you're a man or a woman, men tend to vibrate more on their masculine energy. But it doesn't matter. You could be a man or a woman, and you could vibrate more on your masculine energy, and you could be disconnected from the other hemisphere of your brain and not be tapped in with your creativity or your emotions, and you could be off. And so a lot of men are not balanced within their energies, so they can react at different ways. Same as with women. Women can be more less tapped into their masculine energy and not their feminine energy, or tapped into their feminine energy and not the masculine. Did I say that right? When you are able to balance between both energies, you can be at such, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't have nothing to do with gender, bro. It's the energies. Masculine energy and feminine energy it's not about gender. I mean, it goes into gender because, we all are, born man and woman. It has nothing to do with gender. I'm not talking about gender right now. Sex, like you are born with a different sex. You get the gist of what I'm trying to say. So if you get into a balanced state of your masculine and feminine energy, it is a beautiful place, because you're not going off of just logic all the time or emotion. You can connect both of them. You can connect logic and emotion. Nothing is just statistics. And if you're someone who only goes off statistics, you need to tap more right hemisphere of the brain, your feminine energy. And don't get me wrong, you need a logic, you need those functions of the right hemisphere, but you also need the functions of the right hemisphere because goes with creativity and imagination. If you are going to build anything, if you're going to create anything, you have to be able to be tapped into your creativity and your imagination. But guess what they do at such a young age? They disconnect us from our creativity. They disconnect us from our imagination, from our emotions, from our feelings. Because they want us to be controlled, and they put us in a fucking box. They put us in a box. And, sacred geometry. Why do you think you see so many squares everywhere? Also, everything, literally everything, there is subliminal messages hidden in everything. Since America became America, since the Industrial Revolution happened, there is hidden subliminal messages in everything that hypnotize you without you even knowing. It goes into your subconscious, deep in your subconscious. Especially right before you sleep, and when you wake up, your brain is most vulnerable. So when you're going and driving on the freaking street and you see all these signs with different shapes too, and different words, that is not for no reason. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care if you are one of those people that doesn't believe in like conspiracy theories or whatever, bro. If you're one of those people that's like, I trust the government, wrap it up, bro. You're up for a harsh awakening one day when you wake up and realize that everything is built off a lie. Everything. And they are programming us since we are born. And we're really only just, this is like kind of harsh to say, but we're only really a freaking, only a social security number. And the higher up people in big organizations, especially, not just the government, but high organizations that really build the world, like the oil companies and everything, they don't give a fuck about human life. They are literally energy farming us. They are farming our energy, our attention. This goes with quantum physics. If you put enough energy to something, if energy goes where your attention goes, if you focus hard enough every day on rebuilding your nervous system and your cells, and you meditate every day, or if you're focusing on one point, not just physical, it will manifest physically within the body. And this goes with stress. If you're stressing every day and you're in survival mode every single day, and you start stressing about the same thing over and over again, it is going to physically manifest in your body. It can manifest through back pain, through a lot of things. And this book dives very deep into how that works, and it gives actual graphs, it gives actual proof and science behind it. He uses very big words in this and explains it in a very complex, in-depth way, in very, very advanced detail, if you want to know how that works, because it is just the truth. That is why that's why the doctors say, oh, you need to stop stressing out. Like, if you're 50 years old, you go to the doctor and you have a bunch of physical problems with you, they're like, oh, you need to stop stressing, because that causes physical problems. But what are they going to do? They're just going to give you prescription medication. They're going to give you prescription medication that is treating the problem, but it is not going to cure you, because they don't want you to know how to cure yourself. They're never going to tell you how to cure your physical problems, because they will not benefit off of you, and they will not make money. And these pharmaceutical companies will not make money off of your sickness. They will not make money off of your health. Obviously, the doctor is important. Healthcare is important. Healthcare sucks in this freaking world too. I don't want to get into all that, because I will literally go on a rant about all that shit, because I'm very angry with all of that. Especially because my mom has a lot of health problems. She doesn't have enough money to go to the doctor, because healthcare sucks. And she's also a healthcare worker, by the way. She takes care of people in hospice, and they treat her like shit. That company treats her like absolute shit. I don't want to get into that. But basically, like, that, it is just a money portal. It is an energy farm. That is just how the system is built off of. But when you can go within yourself and you can understand the system and you can detach yourself from it and be able to actually build yourself up and not have to stress about everything. Because when I first found out about all that shit, I really got super depressed, and I was thought I was going insane. If you feel like you're going crazy, bro, that's when the veil is dropping. That is when you know you're not crazy. If you feel like you're genuinely insane, bro, that is when that is when you start to realize that veil is lifting, bro. And those who know, and you can be able to talk about it with the people that are tapped in. But if you're still under the illusion, appreciate it. Appreciate not knowing. Because sometimes I remember when I didn't really realize, like, I always felt something was off since I was younger. Like, I always felt there was something off. I always felt there was just something off. It was this big energy that I always felt that something was off about the world. But, like, you know what everyone says, bro. Anyway, with sacred geometry, though, it's in everything, like I said. They put it in everything. Just like, why, you know, the pair phones and fucking, what's it called? The pair phones and, what was it called? Sam and Cat? Bro, in Sam and Cat, on Disney Channel, the pair phones. Why do you think, I hate that shit, bro. The blinking thing tweaks me out. Why do you think our phones are rectangles? Because they're a box. That goes into our subconscious, by the way. Everything is programming us. Ugh. What do you think genes are? They're code. I think everyone learns that in biology. DNA and freaking genes are code. They are codes. Just like how our brain absorbs information. And how I said in that other video, how everything carries a different vibration. How our thoughts are different vibrations, our emotions are different vibrations. Music is different vibrations. That's a big subliminal that they put in certain types of music. there's subliminals in commercials, especially commercials. They are programming you in commercials and you don't even fucking know. They also instill fear. Fear is a big part of programming, by the way, and you don't actually know, you don't actually realize that. Like, I'm telling you, it's getting dark outside. But yeah, I don't know. I really didn't want to make this video long, but low-key, I have so much more to talk about, but I don't have the energy to talk about it anymore because I don't know. My brain is like internalizing everything, so I can't really like articulate everything in the words that I want to articulate them in. So it's just, if I do try and talk about what I want to talk about, it's not gonna get out the way I want it to. But yeah, we're always emitting and absorbing different information. Everything is just information flowing around, being absorbed. Like when you hug somebody, that's energy transfer. And have you ever been able to hug someone and you really feel their energy? Or if you, that's why, oh my god, let me talk about one more thing. This also goes into sacred geometry, because sacred geometry is existence itself, basically. The fundamentals that build up, the building blocks to existence. There's a lot of different symbols that go into that. They also go into different religions, like Judaism, or the star. That is also a part of sacred geometry. Anyway, that's not a point. That's not the point I'm trying to make. What was I trying to say? Bro, sex is sacred, and that is energy transfer, and it's one of the biggest energy transfers because you are merging with somebody's soul. I also have a book on that. Hold on, let me show you. So this book just kind of, it explains everything first, but it basically kind of just goes off of how to heal through sex, because it is a beautiful thing. It's not always lustful. You can actually heal your bodies with it. Don't ask why I have this book. I never used it, okay? I just want to know. I want to know everything. I just love learning about everything. Everything fascinates me. Okay, but it talks about it, though. It talks about how it is and how it works. Like, sometimes there's, like, graphic, what's it called? See the spine? That is when you have sexual energy is actually very powerful, and it is creation. It is what makes up creation. It is not just like lustful. It's not just about sex. It's sexual energy going through your whole entire spine, going down your entire spine. You know, I talked about the chakras. If you are using it in a certain way, bro, it is draining your energy. So if you goon every day, bro, make sure you, like, if you have an intent behind it, you can really heal your body, and you can put that energy back into your body by gooning every day. But if you're gooning every day in a certain way, bro, it can really just drain your energy and your creative energy, and then you are cooked. I don't know if you've heard those dudes, bro, those freaking dudes that are like, bro, don't goon every day. Your testosterone, or like, if you touch her seat, you're fucking taking away your testosterone. It's true, bro, but like, don't listen to some of those dudes, bro. They're a little off. They get it, but they're a little bit off because they're like gym rats and they think everything's about the grind and shit. Bro, be careful when you listen to people like that. They are trying to put false beliefs in your fucking brain. They're trying to make you think you oughta. Personally, I'm attracted to men who are tapped into their feminine energy, and they aren't controlled by their masculinity, because, bro, who the fuck cares? We're all humans. We poop shit, we pee, who the fuck cares if you are, bro? Very fascinating. If you want to read it, it's called Healing Love Through the Tao. Very beautiful book. Recommend it. Haven't finished it yet. Just because it went into some very deep stuff that I did not feel like understanding. Like I said, it doesn't matter what gender you are. We both carry masculine and feminine energy. It doesn't have to do with gender, really. It's just both the hemispheres of the brain. That shit is sacred, bro. Don't just do it with anybody, it can fuck up your energy system, because if you don't really know that person, or you're only doing it for pleasure, if you're only doing it for pleasure, it can and you never see that like if you have a one night stand, you never see that person again, you're gonna be spiritually attached to that person for a good minute, because you might even be feeling emotions that aren't even yours, or might be feeling things that aren't even yours. That is because you have tied yourselves to them, because you're fucking like, bro, what do you think that means? What do you think sex means? How do you think you can have sex with somebody and you can grow a baby in your belly? That's fucking insane. Can we talk about how insane that is, bro? Why do people take this shit lightly? Oh my god, everything is taken so lightly. Where's the passion? Where's the fucking care about how everything works? It is so... Oh, also this symbol. Oh my god, I love that symbol too. Bro, but like... Maybe I should shut up now. I'm pretty sure this video is already super long, and I will edit it later. I hope I covered everything I wanted to. I did not cover everything I wanted to. I know I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna be like, think of something, and I'm gonna be like, shit, I should have talked about that shit. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to share anything personal, because I feel like that's... You know what? No. You know what? I'm gonna put this out in the ether. Who cares? Oh, I wanted to talk about the ether too. Have you ever seen bro, have you ever seen freaking Serial Experiment Lane? Bro, if you've ever watched Lane, bro, and if you watched that and you didn't take away what it was really fucking talking about, bro, holy shit, that shit is so... Bro, that shit talks about energy on a whole nother level. And if you can put that shit together, everything it is saying is true. It is literally true. Not literally, but literally at the same time. Because, oh my god, bro, it talks about all of that shit. It does talk about the government on a level of the experiments that they're doing. Not literally, they're not actually doing the experiment that they did on the... If you've seen it, if you haven't seen it, skip like a minute ahead or something. But they were doing experiments on the children energetically, because they were making this vortex. Bro, they are doing that too. And I don't care if I sound crazy, bro. If you've seen Lane, bro, you know that shit. And they are doing that. I'm not even joking. That show, that anime is so fucking good, bro. Oh my god, you have to fucking watch it, bro. Anyway. Yeah, bro, the ether is beautiful because everything is out in the ether. The internet, it's like its own place. It's its own fucking realm. Like, some people see things so materially that they can't see the deepness within everything. But I just see things deeply. Everything is deeply. I see things deeply. So when I think about the internet, I just don't think about the internet where everyone can go and see little stupid memes and shit. It's so much more deeper than that. It is like a whole different fucking realm. It's a whole dimension, bro. When you die, you are on the internet forever. You are never gonna, like, if you die, one of your spirits is on the internet still. Anyway, yeah, sorry I look like bum as fuck in this video. I really wanted to talk about sacred geometry. And yeah, it's kind of all I want to talk about. But yeah, that shit is sacred. Don't just do that with anybody. I've only done that with one person. Beautiful fucking thing. Beautiful thing. Especially when you can do it with someone that you want to connect to on that level. And I know people get caught up in lust, and it's such a good feeling, but there's a reason it's such a good feel. Like, bro, nutting is like, I connect nutting to like sneezing and drinking cold water, stretching. Oh my god, bro. Bro, you know why? Because it's stimulating the energy centers in your brain. It's the stimulation, the nerve, the endorphins, the dopamine rush in your brain, and that's why it feels so good. So when you get that feeling, you want it more and more and more and more. This is like how drugs work too. Everything is connected.
No matter where you are, everyone is always connected.
That's what I was getting at, shaker geometry. It's connected to everything, bro. It is literally, everything is a one big spiral. It is just information just together creating certain things. That is how matter is. That is how matter exists. Okay, let me shut up now. I hope you enjoyed the video if you watched it. Love you. Bye.